Hello, everybody, and Merry Christmas Eve. We are here for our we just keep doing this, Dan, right? I mean, we've only missed a few episodes in the past like 6 years.
And usually it's like, I mean, I would say technical difficulties and maybe like kid emergencies are the only reasons.
That's it. That's
I
it.
mean, we've come on and because of technical difficulties haven't been able to do anything, but we've been here. But geez, I don't think no matter what, no matter where I am, I tend to work it right. I mean, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You get way more credit than me because I'm usually just home, but Dan's streaming in from all over the world.
I know for sure. I was in Denmark once. I was
all over England and all the places.
England, Ireland for sure. The place in Denmark, rough internet, and it was on the little vanity. Oh gosh, that was fun.
Yeah. But hey, good to see you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Great to see you. I'm excited to be here. And excited to take your questions as always. So we'll do a little holiday season Q&A today. That sounds good. But Dan, first off, how's your training been this week? What's new? What's happening? By the way, before you answer that, I should have got them up to share, but a lot of people have sent me pictures of our books, Dan. Under the Christmas tree, like we asked. So let's hold it up. And it's not too late, gentle listeners. If you grab both of our books, Strong On and Dan John's Kettlebell Workout Companion, just put them in the stocking or under the tree. Snap a picture, tag us on social media. And I've been giving people just a little, we call it our digital swag bag, just some programs, that awesome, throughout the year. Just a little thank you for supporting us. So if you want to do that, it's there. Just got to take a little picture of the two books and make sure that it comes to my attention. We'll take care of you. So just wanted to announce that again. Yeah.
Good. Excellent.
So yeah, to you, Dan. Mm-hmm.
Then you're asking about my workouts. Workouts have been good. I've been doing this new idea where it's Brad Pilon's idea, but my body weight this morning was 215, and I feel good. I hope there's enough room in the
hardly. I should go back to widescreen here.
My barnyard wide shoulders in, and
looking super broad. Yeah,
mm-hmm. Yeah, things are good. I feel good. Tim Anderson asked me to do a thing on my matrix for his original strength workshop in, I guess it's March. And so I won't be surprised if I have another one of these mini books come out because I'm really enjoying the process, So, things are good. A public service announcement real quick, if you don't
Yes.
mind. Last night, in fact, it was during on Mondays, I do a Zoom original strength thing.
Oh, cool.
And it's really kind of fun. This noise started going off. Well, it was my carbon monoxide detector, and I was freaking out. So I pulled out everything and double checked. Well, I didn't realize that it was flashing END, E-N-D, and I thought, oh, well, this is the end. I'm dead,
It's over. It's what it's telling you.
I didn't know that carbon monoxide and gas things, they have about only a 9 or 10 year limit on them.
Yeah.
So, folks, it might be, maybe a nice little holiday tradition to go around and fire alarms, I guess, are good forever, but, maybe check your carbon monoxide monitor and make sure it's, and it cost me, I bought the $65 one. So I got two of those, cause I have an upstairs and a downstairs one, but, just a little reminder that of the importance of this time of year, especially if you live in the northern hemisphere. I'll keep an eye on those carbon monoxide and gas, detectors.
Right. What's the point of all the bicep curls if you get knocked out of existence because something like that, right? So, funny, kind of funny, but actually embarrassing story. We had something similar happen maybe 2 or 3 years ago where the thing was running low on battery life and started beeping. And we're like, this is it. We're going to die. So I don't know, it was like 1 a.m. or something like that. So the whole fire department comes out and we're standing outside like a bunch of goons. And of course, all the neighbors are like, what's going on? The teenagers come out with their phones because it's a huge scene, right? They brought all the, the whole fire department down and woke everybody up. And it just turns out we just needed to replace the batteries on that thing. So,
but I'll tell you from the heart, I'd rather hear that story than be on, talking about my good friend Pat Flynn.
Yeah, us too. Yeah. So no, we were happy to take a little egg on our face to ensure that we weren't actually about to be poisoned.
And hey,
so
how
it was
about
good.
this? There is a, I mean, how about if one listener and expired, now dead? Well, thank you. But I mean, what if it just helps one listener? I've said, I used to do public service announcements to my students all the time about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And people would say, well, why do you do that? I go, if it helps one kid,
it's worth it.
It's
right?
worth
It takes
it.
2 seconds. And those are things like, man, I didn't even think about that stupid thing ever. Right. And then it started. Yeah.
Because, the thing is, you just stick it in the wall. It's got the 3-hole prong. You stick it in the wall and it just stays there. And it always, I look at it about once a year and it says 0. And I don't know if it's, ripping on me, you're calling me a 0, or if that's
nobody, right? Yeah, just remember your status in life.
And just there's a couple, there's some things in a house that are pretty simple things,
right?
And it's I think this way all the time. Little effort, big gains. In my world, I call those the A grades.
That's
for
good.
example, if you do 6 snatches and 3 clean and jerks, and good weights, and walk out the door. You had a great workout. Well, how long that workout take? About 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how. Well, that's not very much. Yeah. Well, I'm just making up the numbers, but but my last snatch was, with 308, and my last clean and jerk was 385. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the day. Well, that wasn't very much. Yeah, it wasn't much. Big impact,
Big doors swing on little hinges. I think that was
that's. In fact, that
Napoleon Hill saying, or from one of those guys, right? Yeah,
and it's an absolute truth about how many things in life that are just small, and then honestly, it's like, and as we're on Christmas Eve, and Hanukkah, by the way, happy Hanukkah, everybody too. Happy Kwanzaa, happy holidays, happy Yule to those of us who are celebrate the more traditional, ancient holidays, but. When you think about when I've been to homes where the number of Christmas presents, it's the Dudley Dursley thing from the first Harry Potter, where he got 36, 38 presents, and and he was still not happy, and or you get one great present, and it makes the kid, I think about that. I could have read 1,000,000 books that 8th grade day, but the librarian recommended The Sword and the Stone, and
that was the one that changed it all, right?
And then if now, I mean, so the guy who, the artist who drew this, can you guys see that? Okay, the artist who drew the cover of this.
Yep.
I reached out to him a couple of years ago,
and he got that. Yeah,
I got that, and then a friend of mine, she did that for me. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
And then I framed it up, and then throughout the house I have all kinds of things, and it's one of those things where it was a small thing,
But game changer for sure. Yeah, that's good. That's a great reminders, obviously relevant to fitness there. Before we take the listeners' questions, Dan, first question is just from me to you. We're coming up on the new year, so what are you looking at this new year? Have you set any big targets for yourself? Any new programs you're eyeing, fitness or business or life or anything? Just curious to hear what you want 2025 to look like. Yeah.
Well, so the NC2A lost a lawsuit that said they can't use junior college eligibility against their. And when I saw it, I made 2 phone calls. I talked to a person at Westminster, and I talked to somebody at Utah State. If it's possible for me to get those 2 years eligibility back, I'm honestly thinking I'll be 68, 69, 70 to go back and finish my last 2 years of collegiate eligibility and just womp on those 20 somethings.
You might as well. I mean,
but in a little bit smaller domain, I'm going to continue on this body composition thing I'm working on. Take it very seriously. I see in my future, I'm starting to do the books that are more like this. So this is I did this workshop for the Army.
Bounce.
Well, and it's called Bounce, and it's it's a 35-page book, basically, instead of giving out handouts, I'm starting to give books out. And then this kettlebell thing was originally just my handout for the Lift to Palooza in Nashville coming up in January. And as I worked on it, the more I worked on it, the more I realized this is a good way for me to go. So I think I can see myself, the matrix, my movement, the way I systematize the movements, push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded, carry. I call it the matrix. And then I go planks as a program, traditional strength, anti-rotation, ballistic, and then complex movements,
Yeah.
And now I'm thinking, well, just make that into a book. I mean, make that into another one of those.
Right.
So I see myself almost knocking out one of those. I can do those. And honestly, I could do that in a day.
That would be, I think that would be well received. Yes.
Yeah. And, I'm in a real good place in my life right now. I'm really happy. My body weight's in a good place. I think I've mentioned before that I've been donating really heavy to a thing called Utah Presents, which is bringing back jazz music to Utah. And just a real side story. I know I'm rambling, but forgive me.
I asked the question. I want to hear the answer. Yeah.
He's my javelin thrower, but he's also in our choir, our choral ensemble at Westminster. And he's really interested. He heard about this workshop that they're doing at the University of Utah. And he goes, any chance you can get me tickets to that? And I go, well, I can get them free. And he go, and so last night we talked, and he goes, and I go, so I got 6 front row seats for you to this event. He goes, 6, I only needed 2. I go, can you not find 4 friends? And doing that, helping one of my javelin throwers go to this thing, it was like a great Christmas present for me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that's where I'm kind of heading. So physically,
that's great. Yeah.
I'm going to continue to do some things. Financially, things are going really well financially. So
it's good to have these. It's good to have like these continuation goals, where you can look back and like you're very happy with how things have been moving.
Yeah,
and the goal is just, no, I want to keep going in that direction. Nothing radically different. It's always cool to when you're in that type of a position. Yeah.
And Patrick, how about you? Where's the diving board of 2024 going to end up in what pool?
Yeah, no, thanks. I think I'm the same as you in terms of nothing radically new. I think things have been moving in a very positive direction in many ways. Kind of got a lot of irons in the fire with different projects, business wise. Have got the books out and done. So I'm not planning on doing another book next year. But I always say that, and then it happens anyways, right? Got the dissertation, so I do gotta work on that, obviously. Lots of children, and I've got music projects. I'm in this Van Halen tribute band out here that we're taking very seriously. So that is actually, something that is nothing but an enormous economic drain right now. But you need those things in life, right? That keep you motivated and energetic about, fitness is important, but it should be a part of your life, not the whole of it. And that's why I think you talk about all these other cool things, Dan. So yeah, for me, just keep moving in the direction that we have been. Things have, thankfully, very grateful, things have been going well. So I want to keep that trend. Yeah.
And with your kids, with your band, with your PhD program, you're busy. And I guess that's one of the reasons I enjoy coming here every Tuesday with you. And I don't want anyone running around the internet and saying, this or that, but when I do podcasts every so often with Mimi Chan, and we talk about the Sword and the Stone, and you and I talk about all kinds of things beyond 5 sets of 2, and our lives are more than reps and sets, and I'm not spending all day long tinkering with a video so it looks even more gnarly.
Don't have time for it. Christine just asked me this morning, my dear wife, about she's like, hey, what's your, essentially asked like what I'm pursuing fitness wise next year. I'm like, I don't know, right? Things are going pretty good. I just been sticking to the basics for so long now that and maybe I should work on that Iron Cross or something. I don't know. I'm just, there's so many other big goals in my life right now. Like I just want to stay in really good shape.
Yeah. So
right. That's it. I just want to stay in really good shape while I pursue everything else. And if that's what I do, I'm super happy with that. Right. Yeah.
So this is what I'm pursuing. This is a tape measure, and I'm
24-inch pythons, baby.
Well,
Ooh, they're already there. Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to have my arms half my waistline again. That's always a fun one. Yep. So I have two choices, gentle listener. I can get 26-inch arms, or I can bring my waistline down. Both options work.
Either's a win, right? But I mean, like, don't downplay good fitness maintenance people, because like, how often, Dan, we've seen it, like somebody's in the fitness industry and they're a guru, and then they start their own business and then they get super fat, or they, go and do something else, and they just being able to maintain really good fitness levels through other intense, periods of your life is itself, not something to be sneezed at or dismissed,
Yeah. Can I just follow up? I mean,
yeah.
One of the things I liked about the early RKC community was when we go out to dinner, it was kind of funny. It was like there was a group of us who talked about reading books and not weightlifting books, but books. And there was a group of us who had kids, and we leaned back and we talk about financial things. And it was more than just, I can bench press the beast.
Yeah, the beast. It's about bench press the beast. Yeah.
But my point is that there's so much more, and that's one of the reasons the people I tend to spend more time with on these workshops. Karsten here is from Denmark. It's like one of the things I like about going to Denmark is how well read and just how much more layered people. The Irish too, very layered. They're, it's not unusual to spend an evening reading a book, or and I like that. I love what I do, and you can just come into my office here and see that you can see I love weightlifting.
Yep. Yeah, and believe me, I'm not discouraging aggressive fitness pursuits. That's great. I want to see those, and I want to encourage people to pursue them. But I'm just saying, if you got a lot else going on in life, there's nothing wrong with just just having that goal of just staying in really generally good shape as you kind of surge or experience growth in other areas. So good. All right, let's take some questions from the gentle listeners. Lots of good stuff. Send it in here, my friends. Just blanket, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to all of you. Thank you for those comments. JB says something kind about the book. He got strong on, read it to cover. Everyone should buy it. Well, I'm going to be the last to disagree with that. Just make sure you grab a copy of Dan's Kettlebell Workout Companion. Yeah. I really think it's a great pairing, isn't it? I mean, between those two books, you're going to have a full Santa sack full of workouts, my friends.
Are you telling me that peas and carrots is what we're trying to do?
Look at that. What a beauty. Somebody take a screenshot of that. That's awesome. Yeah. Strong On and the Kettlebell Workout Companion probably won't get there even with Amazon Prime by tomorrow, but that's okay. Get it the day after Christmas.
Santa's got to step it up. Okay.
He's got to speed it up. All right, let's keep moving here. Let's get some questions. Oh, here's one from David. Do each of you have a favorite Christmas tradition? Oh, okay. Dan, why don't you go first?
Okay. This is my godchildren keep it going, but it's a tradition from another time in my life. But my favorite is something we call Christmas Adam. So last night was Christmas Adam. So today is Christmas Eve, and if you don't get the joke, I can explain it to you. First there's Adam, then there's Eve.
It's always funny when you have to explain why a joke is funny.
Yeah, I know. God, it's like when the comments online. Okay, but Christmas Adam is a really good tradition because generally the night before Christmas Eve is a quiet, not a quiet night necessarily, but the school stuff's behind us. Usually it's the 20th, 21st, 22nd is when when the kids do the singing and so Christmas Adam was always the quietest night, very quiet night. So we made it a night to bring friends together, friends with children especially, because the kids would play and have fun, and there was no presents involved.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I can't wait to open up those gifts. it was more, where's Santa? Where's Santa? It was just a nice night. Another tradition, of course, I've always thought that the Feast of Saint Stephen, that's the day after Christmas Day, Boxing Day for some of our international friends. We took that very seriously. So it was interesting because of the dynamic when Tiffany and I were together of the family. We would spend, our big thing was Christmas Adam, and then the Feast of Saint Stephen. We would do the tradition of taking, we'd take things down to the shelter or whatever.
Yep.
We donate. Yeah. So
yeah,
I always love those bookend events. One for family and one for friends, one for the community. Sandwiching.
Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, I think we might have to pick up the Christmas Adam idea. That's very special sounding. Ours, I mean, we're pretty, I guess, straightforward. We do the full 12 days of Christmas. We really try to enjoy the full proper celebration, and we talk a lot on the podcast, and we try to take Advent seriously too. When we're fasting, when we're feasting, right?
Yeah.
And enjoy all that. I don't know. We do simple things like tonight. We'll load the kids up and do the whole. We'll just drive around, look at Christmas lights. Sing.
Yeah.
Everybody always likes that on Christmas Eve. Go to my dad's. Always do Christmas Eve usually there. Do my sister's on Friday. So I don't know, those things that are just kind of simple but regular yearly things we always look forward to. So Christine does. Oh, I guess, yeah, she's doing elf boot camp with the kids today. That's a tradition they look forward to. She has all sorts of activities and games like snowman bowling and all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, lots of fun stuff. So,
and a reminder to our listeners who are American, the 12 days of Christmas happens after Christmas.
That's right. Yep.
You end up in Epiphany. And for years, by the way, we did celebrate the sharing of gifts for Epiphany.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, if you want to save money, folks, have Santa come on Epiphany here.
Yeah. Some economic advantages to doing it that way.
It is night and day. Oh, and by the way, I am going to be doing today the 12 days of Kettlebell Christmas. I'll be doing
very cool.
A little podcast. I could do it for you right now if you'd like.
Yeah, what is it? Share it with us.
Oh, it's long, but it'll take a few minutes. Do you want me to start? And if you want to wave me off,
start, please. 12 days of Kettlebell Christmas.
All right. Hi, children. It's me, Father Kettlebell. On the first day of Christmas, my true love sent to me that the body is one piece when you're trained with kettlebells.
Oh, this is perfect, Dan. I love it. Yeah.
On the second day of Christmas, Father Kettlebell reminds us that there's 2 daily mobility exercises we should do. Hang for 30 seconds and sit at the bottom, the gobble squat for 30 seconds. And the body is one piece.
Oh, this is great.
On the third day of Kettlebell Christmas, Father Kettlebell sent to us the hardstyle Kettlebell 3, the goblet squat, the Turkish get-up, and the swing. The 2 mobility exercises, and the body is one piece.
I hope people are taking notes. We're going to turn this into a clip. Keep going, Dan. Yeah.
On the 4th day of Christmas, Father Kettlebell sent to us the life compass of pray, play, work, and rest. The Kettlebell 3, swing, goblet squat, Turkish get-up. The 2 mobility exercises, and the body is one piece. On the 5th day of Kettlebell Christmas, Father Kettlebell sent to us the 5 basic human fundamental moves: push, pull, hinge, squat, loaded carry, the 4 compass marks, the Kettlebell 3, the 2 mobility exercises, and the body is one piece.
This is perfect. This is great.
On the 6th day of Kettlebell Christmas, Father Kettlebell sent to us the basic Kettlebell 6: snatch, clean, press, goblet squat, swing, and get up, the 5 fundamental human moves, the 4 compass marks, the hard style 3, the 2 mobility moves, and the body is one piece. Should I continue?
No, I want to hear it all. I'm deeply inspired. Keep going.
On the 7th day of Christmas, gentle listeners, Father Christmas sent to me the 7 exercises to learn to stay tall. the push-up position plank, the vertical plank, the goblet squat, the farmer walk, the suitcase carry, the deadlift, and march in place with high knees. The kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 points of the life compass, the hard style kettlebell 3, the 2 mobility moves, and the body is one piece. Are you continuing?
Continuing. Got to finish it.
On
We're
the
in.
8th day of Christmas, Father Kettlebell reminds us of nutrition. Eat like an adult, focus on protein and vegetables, drink water, avoid drinking calories, train in a fasted state, stay hungry sometimes. Food, including fermented foods and fruit, are probably the best supplements. And nutrition has never been complicated, but simple is a tough way to make money. The 7 exercises for staying tall, the basic kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 points of the life compass, the hard style kettlebell 3, the daily do this mobility, and the body is one piece. On the 9th day of Kettlebell Christmas, Father Kettlebell sent to us the moves from Yonda. You need to strengthen knees, my friends. The glutes, the rhomboids, the deltoids, the triceps, and the abs. And you need to stretch these. The pecs, the biceps, the hamstrings, and the hip flexors. Follow the 8 secrets of nutrition, the 7 exercises of staying tall, the kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 points on the life compass, the hard style kettlebell 3, the daily to do this mobility, and the body is one piece. On the 10th day of Christmas, Father Kettlebell reminded us of how to be a good coach. Train appropriate to the goals. Train train little and often over the long haul. The longer it takes in shape or condition, the longer the shape or condition remains. Warm up and cool down really have a role. Be sure to train for volume before you train for intensity. Train in a community of some kind. Train your mind. Keep your training program in perspective. And yes, the fundamentals, the basics, will rule everything else. The 9 muscle groups we train and stretch, the 8 secrets of nutrition, the 7 tools to stay tall, this kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 points on a life compass, the hard style 3, the 2 mobility moves, and the body is one piece. The 11 rules of longevity were sent to us by Father Kettlebell. Go to bed 2 hours after sundown as appropriate. Wake up and move. Never hit the snooze button. Wear your seatbelt and helmet. Don't smoke. Learn to fall and recover. Floss your teeth. 100 minutes of exercise each week. Stay knitted. Be part of some kind of community. Keep your weight under 300 pounds. Eat proteins and vegetables. Drink water. The 10 commandments of keeping the goal. The 9 key muscle groups. The 8 secrets of nutrition, the 7 tools of stay tall, the kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 life points of the compass, the hard style kettlebell 3, the daily do this mobility, and the body is one piece. And now, gentle listener,
bring it home.
On the 12th day of Christmas, Father Kettlebell reminded us of the 12 different levels of training to explore in your exercise routine. On your back, prone, 6-point, bear, half kneeling. Squatting, hinging, gait, and carry. Get in the air, hang, and brachiate. The 11 truths of longevity. The 10 commandments of coaching. The 9 key muscle groups. The 8 secrets of nutrition. The 7 tools of stay tall. The kettlebell 6, the 5 fundamental human movements, the 4 life points, the hard style 3, the daily do this mobility movements, and the body is one piece.
Wow, Christmas really did come early, Dan. Thank you. That was quite a treat. I'm really impressed. Did you just put that together? Is this something you've been cooking up over the years,
I've
or
been cooking it up over the years, and you can find it here in the Kettlebell
I
World.
was gonna say, my goodness, that itself could just be like a small but super useful book. I mean, each one is a chapter, right? And maybe
Yeah.
it's just one page per chapter, but dang, that was great. Wayne says encore one more time. You know what? I'm gonna see if I can extract that as a clip and put it separately, because that was
Can you
I'm
send that?
inspired.
Can you
Yeah.
send that to me?
Yeah, well, all right, what's the timestamp? All right, it ended around 29 minutes. All right, I got to put a note down so I can track it down and find it. Yeah.
I'd love to post that up on my whatever's, you know.
Yeah, good. I'm going to extract that and let it live on in forever, eternally, because it deserves to. So that was sweet, Dan. That was really good. I'm like I said, I'm inspired. I think I'm going to sit down and see if I can come up with a little poetry like that myself. So, all right, let's get to some questions now. It's going to be hard to beat that, but we'll do what we can. So,
well, what's funny is that if you just did, you know, if you did those daily mobility movements and you listen to the nutrition, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
If you did all that, you'd be okay. You know,
you're going to probably make it to next Christmas. All right. Justin says he's been experimenting with single kettlebell clean and half kneeling press and a split squat complex, mostly because his gym ceiling is low. So, hey,
it's funny. What is it, Justin? Hey, Justin, and I hope everyone listened to what Justin said. You got a low ceiling, work around it. A suitcase carry march in places. I would throw that one in there too. But yeah, I like that. Very often I'll get text message or I'll get, questions. Dan, I can't do this workout because my ceiling is too low, or it's like, well, work around it. I like that. Good job, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So maybe snatches aren't going to be the thing there, but cleans are great. Single arm swings are great, and you can do the kneeling presses. So lots of opportunity there still. All right. Avery says in 2025, he's doing easy strength for 6 months. And then he wants to know, what's my Pat Flynn workout for the other 6? You got to get the book. I'm going to keep plugging the book because there's lots of workouts in there and 4 different programs. So that'd be good. I mean, easy strength just builds such a good foundation. You can kind of go in any direction you want after easy strength, can't you, Dan? Just
well, and that is kind of the idea. So if you're working on a quality, like you think your mobility sucks, then you do an easy strength workout, and then you work your mobility for 5 hours. If you're a runner, you do your easy strength workout, and then you get your hill sprints and your all the other stuff in. Yeah, I mean, so if you do 2 months of easy strength and you put yourself on a fat loss program, you're coming in that fat loss program stronger.
Yeah.
So you have to do bigger weights, which of course will have a bigger impact on you. So yeah.
Good. Best to you, my friend, and keep us updated on how all that comes along. He's got some goals here. He wants to finally press half his body weight and get to that 200 rep snatch test. Yeah, we've talked about that. So the old iron brute level, or whatever they call that, right?
And again, I'm not trying to pimp this book out too much, but I have a part in here called standards, and it's, for some reason, it's the most popular page in the book. This is the one I keep getting feedback on. But it's got the press the beast and snatch at 24, 210 minutes. And I say the original RKC2 standards only discussed, never used. I think if you do those two, goals and you do them in the 30 minutes, Antonio, I mean, I think you've made you are where you need to be with the kettlebell world. You've nailed it. I don't know if you can get much more out of kettlebells just by, once you get those 2 goals, you've got it. Now you use kettlebells for other reasons, body composition and, keeping yourself a human animal. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right, let me scroll back up here. Got some. Don't want to miss any of the important ones. All right, David. Just some comments and goals that I want to highlight. Maybe we can offer
Yeah.
a little bit of advice here. Oh, every time somebody else comments, it like resets and I lose my spot
Sorry,
here.
bud.
I know. Yes. Give me 1 second. There he is again. David says he's turning 40 in November. Wants to be in the best shape of his life, and that appears to be on track. Excellent. He finally wants to read some of the stuff that he saved for quote someday, including novels and a few foreign languages, and just live. So
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
I
Fitness
like.
in 40s, Dan. What's your best advice for fitness in and throughout your 40s?
Don't get fat in your 20s.
Great.
Yeah, I answered that question, and someone got on me on my YouTube. I said, the question was, how do you get in shape in your 60s? Get in shape in your 30s, and it's a hell of a lot easier than your 60s. The nice thing about being in your 40s, and it kind of depends on David. It kind of a lot depends. Oh, 1917, is that are David, are you Irish? Or
You might.
So the if you're like, for me, it was easier for me because in my 40s my kids were old enough. Lindsay and Kelly were in middle school when I got into my 40s. Almost, well, I mean, they were still young.
Yeah.
They were 7 and 5 when I turned 40, I think. But what was nice is you don't, when you have a 7 and a 5-year-old, you don't have to be. I mean, yeah, they fight a lot more, but you don't. I mean, it's not like you can go out in the garage and train. You're not going to come back into 2 dead kids. You know what I mean? You're not. They can't do too much damage to themselves or the planet.
Right.
So that was huge for me. The biggest thing I would say is that you're going to find that it's going to be quite easy to build strength in your 40s. But your mobility, your mobility will be trying to sprint out the door, so you're gonna have to chase mobility. And I would also find a lot more gentle cardio once you hit the 40 mark. So I mean, I like walking, rucking, heavy hands, certainly bicycling. If you can stomach rowing machines, and I would. But yeah, and then just so. I think body comp is going to be the big deal. I think fasting is going to have to. Fasting is a very good tool for 40-year-olds and body comp because you have so much more control of your diet when you're in your 40s. If you don't have a menu, shopping list, stuff like that, you got to grow up and make sure you do that. When you shop, you have to shop. You have to sniper when you shop. You eat before you go to the store. You stick to the shopping list. You have a shopping list that leads into a menu. The menu, going out to dinner, going out more than, I'm going to say a couple times a week, but I really don't mean that. I mean, I think maybe once a week is all you really can deal with, because it's going to be really hard with calories after 40. There's a place over near my house here called Del Taco. It's a high-end Mexican food restaurant.
Yeah.
And they put their calories up on, and it's great because the 99 and or $1.59 bean burritos have 490 calories. The taco salad has 460, but if you get rid of the chips, it probably goes into the 300s.
Mm-hmm.
You can snort down 3 of those bean burritos on the drive home, and I know that because I've done it.
He's tested this, yes.
Yes, but you're not going to knock down those 2 taco salads, in the same.
Yeah.
So just kind of keep that in your head. You can't ultra processed food, fast foods, restaurants. It's going to really beat on your ability to stay lean. It just is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. How does we do not have the Del Taco out by us. We've got the Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's the ranking there, Dan?
Most people say Del Taco's better, but if you travel this, and again, I'm about to recommend fast food to you guys, to gentle listeners. But I drive out to Vermont every year. You know, famously, I drove home from North Carolina. You were part of that story. I tried to, in fact, there was one of the times it was in August, and I had to drive from Vermont to North Carolina because Lindsay was having problems with her pregnancy. So when I travel, I've discovered that, I go online. You can find it online, and you can look up nutrition, all these different places.
Yeah.
And I found if you make good choices, Taco Bell actually is not bad at all if you make good choices. They used to have a thing called Fiesta, like I think it's called Fiesta, Taco Fiesta or something, where they added extra vegetables. And it's like, I mean, is it perfect? Well, yeah, I don't know. But if, you can get a meal with vegetables quickly. And you're trying to get across the country. So
yeah.
I always love
it's good to have those options and to be aware of those options.
So I like to go to a health food store. Yeah, good luck in Nebraska.
Get my spirulina smoothie and
and you're driving across Nebraska or Kansas. For those of you who are international listeners, you honestly don't have any idea how big the United States is. And I'm not being mean to any of you, but it is massive. When I talk to my friends in Germany, they'll act like a 2-hour drive, like in another world.
It takes me 2 hours just to get to like my friend's house out here in Wisconsin. Yeah, seriously.
I can drive 11 hours in the state of Utah at really fast speeds and still be in the state of Utah.
And still be in Utah, right? Yeah. I know.
For me to get to the Four Corners, it's an 11 to 13-hour drive.
Yep.
And I'm still in Utah.
Yeah.
So
good. Okay. Good. All right. Someday I'll be able to try this Del Taco. I did hear whispers that Chi-Chi's is coming back. You guys remember we talking about authentic Mexican? Apparently back from the dead. Chi-Chi's is getting a fresh start. So looking forward to that.
Chi-Chi's sounds like something you'd pick up in another country.
Well, apparently people did pick some.
I got the Chi-Chi's.
I got the Chi-Chi's. Well, I mean, not to hurt them starting out, but I'm pretty sure like they did kill a few people with some food poisoning at some point, and I think that hurt their reputation a little bit.
Yeah, isn't that funny? Yeah.
But anyways, we'll see how they do this time. All right, that could be. I think that's happening. All right, but let's talk fitness again. All right, Kang, my buddy Kang says, in Dan's perfect workout, lifting weight to goblet squat from floor was straining my mid back, so I put the weight and pull on a 10-inch box. I will slowly decrease the elevation to the floor. Sure. Okay, so he's bringing the weight up to him. Yeah, Dan, talk to us about this.
So at the bottom of the goblet squat, you curl the weight to the floor. But this is actually, so Kang, I think this is I would not mind you exploring that issue longer, because either you're not bracing or whatever you want to call it. The more common phrase now is bracing. Inner tube strength, anaconda strength, that feeling, that's my Arnold imitation. If either you're not bracing or maybe you have a back issue, and I'd like you to make sure you don't just find a workaround for this exercise, but make sure you keep a real eye on what's the cause of that. Maybe you don't know how to brace, and you learn, and those, just do more goblet. The bottom of the goblet squat, you do curls. Try doing sets of 8 to 10 of those separate, and just see if as you're doing them you can teach yourself to brace. Or, I mean, did you get in a motorcycle accident? Did you get into a bike accident? Did you snow shoveling incident? So that's what. Make sure you take care of the root cause, not just do a workaround. Does that make sense?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, and I think that's true in anything. This can be a weird. I was gonna use erectile dysfunction as an example, but very often people will take a pill for that, or use certain other things for that. But if it's hardening of the arteries, we want to deal with that. Or if I'm saying, if it's something some other big issue, let's deal with that root cause before.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
When I'm this thing here on my face, I'm bleeding out. I'm bleeding out of here. Yeah, slapping a Band-Aids on it, but it's a lot better not just fall, or whatever. Sometimes you got to deal with the root cause.
Right. Yeah. No, that's always great advice and
Yeah.
reminder. So rock and roll. Steven says his goal in 2025 is he wants to focus on the clean and press, the snatch, and body composition. Well, those are certainly compatible, aren't they?
Steven, if I could get all the listeners, who use barbells to just do clean and press and snatches, and all the listeners to do kettlebells and just do clean and press and snatches, I think all your Christmas dreams will come true. I just think those are massively great. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Kang has a follow-up. He has recommendations to learn this bracing that you're talking about.
Well, the bottom of the goblet squat curls. Another one, at the bottom of the goblet squat, you hold it by the horns and use a lightweight, and you punch it out. You punch.
Yeah, it is what those are called, the heartbeat squats. And that they used to be called boom, 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 boom.
Used to be called the inventor of the heartbeat squat. You're talking to him, and that's all I get. Used to be called
real-time fact check.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I gotta tell you,
I want to get credit for giving credit again, because Dan, I'm certain that I have cited you in my Strong On book numerous times. I might be the only one that actually gives Dan John credit.
I think you're the only one on the planet, actually.
Yeah.
Gave
you credit for the goblet squat, of course. You're in here for armor building. You're quoted. I even got you into Business Insider the other week. If people missed that feature, it was in Business Insider. I made sure that Dan John got a shout out in there, of course. So
because otherwise I'd whine like a bitch.
Whine. It was funny. That thing was fine. I mean, it was a fine little feature, and they shared some cool workouts. I was glad that we got you in there too. But it's always one of those things. Like I sat down with that reporter for like an hour, and like it was like super in depth and was like really good questions. So I was like really pumped, and then it comes out, it's like 3 sentences. I'm like, where's all the stuff we talked about?
There's a guy doing there's a British newspaper called The Independent, and for those Ted Lasso, it's that newspaper. And Harry's doing a series, and he's really doing a good job. I've included it in my Wandering Weights, and the first one I came off as a bit of a douche, which if you watch your Parks and Rec, the douche. Cool. But I think he's doing a really good job, and it's nice because he's like he did the humane burpee, and then he did the spar hawk. But what was great about that is we did the interview, and then he did the workout. So it wasn't a here you can do this. It was I did this. Dan warned me that round 7 was going to be terrible. He was right.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So Kang, on bracing, you can do it with the goblet squat, curl, the heartbeat. You can also do planks. There is one plank that might be really good. Stand as tall as you can. I use Dynamax bands hanging down from the pull-up rack, and you pull it down like this, like at the top of it. And anything to teach yourself that you lock and load in. In fact, my abs are so rocked up right now. I mean, I would show my abs off, but I just feel we'd probably have fainting. I worry about people.
Can't deal with that liability on the show. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Unconventional Strength says, Merry Christmas, guys. I'm enjoying Strong On Pat and the Omni book, Dan.
Oh, that's
great.
Fantastic.
So thank you very, very, very much, good sir. And I hope you continue to enjoy both. All right, let's take one more here. The Manco Company says, my name is Avery Manco. Hello, Avery. What is the difference between a round and a cycle? Well, I guess that depends on who you're reading. But for me, when I use those terms, I'll usually use cycle if I'm thinking like a complex where you cycle through a bunch of exercises. Maybe you're just doing 1 rep of each, and you might cycle through it 5 times before you put the kettlebell down. And then once you put the kettlebell down, there's your round. So it could be something like there's 5 cycles through a series of movements, and then you rest, and 5 cycles equals a round. So at least for my work, that's how I might differentiate it. I don't know, Dan, if you've seen some other ways that these
generally, Avery, I'll use the word round like, if we're in an American football practice and we'll do rounds of something like there'll be 1, 2, 3 drills in a group. Every time you do those 3 drills, that's 1 round. Okay. So if you're doing circuits and you go through the whole 12 exercises, that's 1 round. Generally, I would use the word cycle a little bit more when I'm looking at, I use the word cycle, step way back, and it's how I would look at a 3-month period, a 1-year period. So
a full training cycle, right?
Yeah. So like the question we had earlier about, I'm doing easy strength for 2 months, and then I'm doing Pat's, incinerator workout.
Incinerator 9,000, something like that.
And then I'm doing easy strength. So that would be a cycle of easy strength followed by a cycle of incinerator. That's how I use it. But the nice,
I use it that way too. So I guess I use it in both ways. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the important thing is, and getting back to Ludwig Wittgenstein, if we're in the gym, this, in a, and what, 40 minutes, I can say, okay, Mike, we're going to do 3 cycles of, this. He would understand instantly what we're talking about in the context of the moment. But generally, I would say in a day session, rounds is finishing a group exercises in some kind of gathering, and then cycles is generally the bigger one for me. But it doesn't matter, because if we're both saying the same thing, it's the definition's not important.
That is always right. Good. All right. Before we say goodbye, Dan, I mean, what do you? I plan on being here next Tuesday, of course. I think you are as well. But what are you going to be doing between now and then?
I'll be
taking it ezy this week. Got a new project.
Tonight we're going to dinner with my daughter, and
perfect.
It's an exciting year for me, gentle listener. I mean, Ellen was born in August. Daisy's going to be here. So my Christmas tree, Ellen's middle name is Rose. And so my Christmas tree, I put a bunch of plastic roses in it, a bunch of plastic daisies in it. And I looked at it, and I've got these little gnomes gnome or trolls from Denmark. And they hang, and they're red and white. And I looked at the tree, and it's like, this almost looks like one of them television trees, man. It looks really good. So I'm very excited about this new year. And in the next week, I'll work out. I'll have had a wonderful Christmas, very quiet Christmas. I'm giving out a lot of books this Christmas. My granddaughter asked for a whole collection of books. My grandson asked for a whole collection of books. And if you ask me as your grandfather for books,
you shall receive.
I feel like I done good somewhere along the line. If you want awesome. Books for Christmas, yeah. How about you, my friend? With the 209 children that you have,
they also have asked for many, many books. So we're always happy to supply those. And just take it easy. That's the way we like it on holidays. Keeping it at home, keeping it local.
I have been very fortunate that I haven't had a made-for-TV movie Christmas in a while. I haven't had the, you know what I mean. The drunk uncle, the crazy sister. I haven't had any of that stuff. I haven't had a controversial Christmas. You know what I mean? In a while. So I want to keep that streak alive. Yeah.
Great. Yes. Yeah. Likewise. Before we go, gentle listeners, don't forget the new books. Dan, hold them up again if you don't mind. Strong On and Dan John's Kettlebell Workout Companion. Everything you need to start.
And if any of you want, the 12 days of Kettlebell Christmas,
I'm going to try and splice that, get a clip of that up later today. And when I do, I'll send it your way, Dan. Yep.
And everyone tell him, get it done now. I expect, where are the comments? Pat, get that done.
I know.
Come on.
Yeah, I will. You know what? I will stay up. I will miss Christmas if I have to get it done.
What I want to hear.
Yeah. Priorities, my friends. So Merry Christmas to all of you. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you before the new year, everybody. So get yourself ready for an awesome 2025. We'll see you next week.
Be a great one.
Bye-bye.